Develop practice and protocols for using current research and other resources to increase knowledge about this issue as a board. Conduct book studies and current research to learn together and make well-informed decisions. And then I put 8 strategies. That was on my list. I didn't know what that referred to.
Yeah, I took it off.
You did? Oh, you took it off. Okay, great.
I took it off.
Gotcha.
So I didn't know what it referred to.
Okay, I'm looking at an older version.
I don't think we've done much work on this yet.
But it's connected to the issues we have before.
Yeah. I think we still need to, I don't think we've done much work on this yet at all.
Okay.
As a board.
So, so one of the tools that we've looked at for moving some of this work forward to ensure that the work of the goals gets moved into the realm of board work was the tool that you put together, Amy. And I think what do we have, maybe 5 minutes?
And we can
look that
maybe
over
I'll just
a little bit?
introduce it and then we can talk about it later.
Okay.
So that's the color-coded spreadsheet. So basically what I did is, with Tricia's help, I dug up, so at WASDA there was a breakout session about a board planning calendar that Bellevue put on. And they have a very elaborate one. And they actually use it as a governance tool also to announce when things are going to be discussed in detail. And they use it as also a communication piece wherever it uses it really to plan meetings. So this is my thought, was I was trying to pull together, and this isn't quite complete, I would have to say, but I was trying to pull together a combination of, things we're required to do, like the reports, the state required reports, that really kicks in like around the budget in July, for example. Different types of meetings and policy reviews. Now with stakeholder review, that's empty right now. That is, I'm trying to speak quickly, forgive me, but stakeholder review, for example, when I was talking about how that career and college readiness review that Bellevue has a certain time every year, that, or they ask, we've done this informally in the past, have the Schools Foundation give us a presentation, Natural Leaders have given us a presentation. They have that very formalized every year about when that happens. And then also, just again, because we have so many level 3s and 5s, just trying to help all of us understand when things are coming so we can prioritize our own time and manage our own time. So, like I said, I was trying to pull information from board briefings and from, past agendas last year and fill it in. And also things I kind of see on the horizon. But if we were to flesh this out, would this be helpful?
Yes.
For folks?
Yes.
Yes. Is it something that you need to do, or is this something like Cindy would have the most access to? It seems like it's quite involved and time consuming. I know we have that stuff, but I've made spreadsheets before. This is a spreadsheet.
It's
Girlfriend's a spreadsheet.
No,
And I like that.
But
It's color coded, it's got a lot of those things. And so, but to have a spreadsheet like this really work, you start to use it as your core focus. You look at it, so it has to be updated, and it's easy, I think, for any of us to update it and keep. But who's the owner of, when you have a calendar-ish spreadsheet like this? You just need an owner of it. And is that too much for you to do?
Right.
But in general, I think it's bad.
Well, it's something I'm willing to talk to Cindy about, because she does do the very simple board planner, which is just a very simple spreadsheet, and she updates it periodically. I have it in here. But I can talk to her about, again, like everyone else, here it is. So this is what she maintains right now, this very simple spreadsheet list. So again, she has work commitments like everyone else. Before I wanted to talk to her about that, thank you for looking up for my schedule, but before I talked to her about that, I wanted to make sure it was something we were going to use. And some of these dates wouldn't necessarily change, like the superintendent dates and the school improvement visits are set for the year. Some of them would be loaded in. I started only in January, but really this would start every August. But if it's something that she updated and maybe had just posted on the board briefing page.
Well, and on the site, I think, when we're having those conversations.
Yes,
all the time.
absolutely, absolutely.
Because if you see, we, March is busy. We have, in terms of a lot of it is, around superintendent evaluation, about the community meetings. I put in orange, I try to color code, I have a little thing at the end, but, community community meetings around transition planning. But I think it will help us just kind of as a board, think about the district workload as well as our individual workload.
So my only feedback would be that I guess I would just want folks to think about what this adds as opposed to kind of the more simple version we have now, because it would be a time demand for Cindy, and so if it's one more tool that doesn't really appreciably add to the tool that we currently use, I guess I would want to think about that. And I would just want to say with respect to Bellevue and how they utilize this, they are a policy governance district, which without kind of getting into all the ins and outs of that, it means that their overall board governance structure is much different than our current district. And how they use theirs, in talking with Tim, they are timed. So if it's
Each
athletics,
agenda item.
it is 15 minutes. And
Yes.
the board has to decide if they're going to go beyond 15 minutes, and if they are, they have to decide where they're going to take that from their meeting agenda. So the tool functions much differently for them, and that has not been a habit or an operating norm of this board to operate within that much structure. So I would say, carefully, you can look at it from the outside, and you really need to understand how it's used more internally to know the role it plays with them.
The other comment I would make too is I really find that the Zimbra calendar that Cindy makes is really helpful. That has a lot of information about times and dates and community stuff. So I wonder if maybe we can kind of combine maybe aspects of this information that we have that we don't have in that, and just do it maybe in what's kind of already existing.
Right, and it's online, digital, and ready to go.
Maybe easier to
Yeah.
disseminate.
I don't know if she can color code within that or what.
Right.
That was something, if it was
I'm a color coding fan too.
I'm not, the color coding isn't that big of an issue.
I know, it's really tiny.
These things are so cool. Should have thought these a while ago. But I guess for me, again, just 6 years of, we're on the board, a big group comes in, they want to talk about, ninth grade sports. Or whatever is the timely issue of the day. It would be so helpful of, let's have a study session in 2 weeks. If I can go, okay, what else are we talking about in the next couple of weeks? And is that something that fits in? Or, we are already talking about moving to four-year high schools in 3 months, right? Just put something from past, this is really helpful to kind of have that timeline of, this seems like it's a really urgent issue, but we're actually addressing it 3 months from now in a bigger picture.
So one of the guiding questions for this section, which is why it's in this section, which is how do we ensure that issues are addressed in the right vein? What do we do if we get off track? How do we keep the important issues on our plate? We make sure that they don't get bumped off of, if we have a really important issue, it doesn't get bumped off by the issue of the day.
Right.
And that's the value of having some of these
Right.
mapped out for you. And Larry's right, certainly Bellevue does use it in a different way, but it doesn't mean you can't maybe even combine a couple tools, maybe one that you're already using with what your aspirations are for this, to help keep your board on track with what the important work is, and make sure that some of those goals, the board's roles and those goals, continues to move forward and doesn't get
So
kicked off the plate.
I tell you what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to do this because, most of this was my break, right? So most of the time was creating it. And so I'm willing to manage it myself this year. And we'll see if people don't use it, if people can be honest and say, okay, going forward, it's not going to be worth it.
Well,
Or at least for a couple months, I'm willing to manage it because I think Cindy is quite busy. I totally agree. But I believe enough in helping us with everything with all the balls we're juggling right now, that I'm willing to spend some time into it, at least in the short term, maybe through the end of April. How's that sound? And then maybe we'll reevaluate and see if it's been helpful and if it's worth putting more time into.
How much work it is to actually update it.
Right.
well, that's where the decision-making matrix came from
Right.
originally. It was, how do we deal with the issues of the moment versus what we have in front of us? But I think having the roadmap, as Julia liked to call it, in front of us, then we can say, okay, where is this falling in? That's something else.
So I'm hearing you say you're going to use this for the next couple months, evaluate its effectiveness and also how much time it takes, and
Right.
see if it's worth that investment and if it does what you wanted to do in April.
End of April, does that
In
sound?
April?
I love it, yes.
Okay. So I think that's been decided.
Any feedback, welcome. Thank
So
you.
you have 15 minutes left, so I think that we probably should wrap. Thank you.
Thank you.
I always enjoy coming and talking with all of you, so. And Amy, you and I can connect, let's
Yes,
wrap
yes,
all of
let's-
this stuff up so that we have decisions that were made and also next steps for your next meeting.
Thank you.
So,
Let's
you're
do that.
welcome.
Can I clarify whether on January 26th is
Oh,
our
yes.
retreat 2 to 6 or noon to 6?
So we haven't talked about that yet, so in terms of